Thank you, Jerry. Coach, two things. The wow factor of this game, wow, right?
Yeah.
But then Dallin Hayden replacing Travion and y'all sticking with him, and the way he ran was almost exactly what you needed it to look like. Just maybe address those two things.
Yeah, we didn't quite get the running game going there in the first half, and then made the change to Dallin, and he really got us into a rhythm. I thought he was hitting the holes hard. Right after the block punt there, two good hard runs, and that was good. And then from there on, I thought he almost broke a couple. He almost did, but for a young player with so much on the line here today, to play like that, first off, to take care of the football is the number one thing. When you hand somebody that football, you're putting the whole team in their hands, and that's something we talk about a lot. And so we trusted that Dallin was going to do that. He's had a couple spots this year, but this was big, and for him to get this game under his belt, I think will build some confidence for him.
And then the wow factor of this game, obviously, Michigan escaped against Illinois. Now you guys escaped basically today the big setups for next week.
Yeah. When you're playing on, in November in the Big Ten, I mean, these are challenges week in and week out. And the number one goal is to win and move on. There's been times this year we've had style points, if you want to say, and we've won big, but there's going to be games where you don't jump out as fast as you would like to. We got to get that first drive going, and okay, here we go. It's going to be one of those days, and it just wasn't quite that way, And there's some reasons for that we need to clean up. But what I think was the most important thing was at halftime we came together and said, okay, this is going to be a 4-quarter battle now, and sometimes we get in these games they're not, but this was going to be, and we really buckled down in the third quarter, did a nice job there, and then finished out the game the way we should.
Now over to the left hand, Hope 11 Warriors.
Ryan, you guys gave up 293 passing yards today. How much of a concern is that as you get into a point of a season where you're going to face more top quarterbacks?
Yeah, it usually isn't about the yards, but I thought Talia played his heart out today. I thought he played really well, did a nice job. But yeah, I mean, there's some plays in there that we're going to look at and try to address what's going on there, because certainly we like to see better play. But there's good players in this league, and they're gonna get yards. I thought our defense did a good job of forcing field goals at times, especially early in the game. But our number one goal and plan to win is to play great defense, and they did throw for too many yards today for sure. But we'll take a look and try to figure that part of it out.
Austin Ward, Rivals.
Ryan, it's easy and probably unfair for us outside the program to say, well, maybe they just were looking ahead to next week, because a lot of us maybe already were. Did you sense that at all throughout the week or at any point today that the focus wasn't there?
It's hard to say. I just got done with the team, and you probably can imagine what the first thing that was said is, it's on the team up north.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to do that when guys just, put their bodies on the line. I mean, that was a hard-fought game out there. When you're playing the game of football, it's not like any other sport like basketball. You go out there and you run up and down the court and shoot a little bit. I mean, you're putting your body on the line. And these guys strained and they played hard. And to see Lathan block another punt, to see Dallin come in and play the way he did. The offensive line was grinding. The defensive line, to see Zach Harrison get that fumble at the end. Guys kept playing, and Tommy Eichenberg playing hard. I mean, there was a lot of guys. So they still need to be recognized for that. You can't just go through the motions and think you're going to win a conference game like this on the road. All that being said, our number one goal is to beat the team up north. And so now we're into week 11, and you can't just show up and win these games. You have to fight and play. But we're already into the team up north week.
Over to the right, Tony Girdman, Buckeye Huddle.
Ryan, now that you start talking about Michigan, how hard's it the last year been, like living with a loss to Michigan?
Yeah, that has not been easy. Hasn't been good. We'll probably talk about it more this week. But looking forward to the preparation, and our guys have been focused on it all off season, and during the season it's always been in the back of our minds. We're working every day of the year, and so the week is officially here.
Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, this game conjured up memories of 4 years ago at times, and we know Maryland's got talent. They haven't always put it together. Was this kind of the Maryland team you feared you'd see?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they're very dangerous. They're very athletic. Real good cover guys. Obviously, Talia is very talented. He has some good weapons on the outside. But those guys played good. Just looking at their numbers. But yeah. I mean, that was it. And the field goal, or the extra point there, we went for 2, you know, that right there was a mistake. That we can't let happen. You know, we got to delay a game, and then, you know, in that situation, we wanted the tackle to come over. We didn't put the tackle over, so we had a short edge, and that blocks, and so that cost us 3 points. So I was very upset after that. And, you know, when those things start happening, you know, all of a sudden, you know, it could turn into a bad situation fast, and it almost did. But I give our guys credit; they kept fighting, and they refused to lose.
Clay Hall, WSYX.
Does it matter how you go into next week coming off this high? Is that a huge thing, or will it be tough to bring them down?
I mean, I think if you look over the years, there's probably been times when, you know, for instance, last year it was 49-0 at halftime. We played Michigan State; it was a top 10 team, and then lost the game. There's other times where you limp into the game and you win the game. You know, so at this point, it's just a matter of going to win the game. And you know, I know they were in a battle today. It's playing in the Big Ten in November.
Nathan Barrett, Cleveland.com.
Right, just first to clarify, so Dallin stayed in the second half more for performance reasons than any re-injury to Trevion?
No, we did hold Trey there at one point. Yeah, it got to the point where we just decided we weren't going to put him in anymore.
Okay, and just those inside cuts that Dallin was making, what does that mean for this offense?
Well, I mean, he's seeing it. He's seeing it, and I think when you see him hit it, he's running through contact. I mean, you can just feel him. He's got really good feet, made some guys miss. Even at the end there, when it was the 4-minute drill, you know, they had everybody in there. And if you throw it and get an incompletion, then they don't use one of their timeouts. So we had to run it to eat up the clock. You know, as frustrating as that is, and as hard as that is, you got to do it. But that being said, there was a couple of guys in the hole that were extra guys that he made miss, and it kept, you know, kept those things moving, kept the chains moving, and got us, you know, on schedule. And I thought it was well done.
Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
Ryan, for Latham to block it on just his play on that drive specifically to give you guys that momentum. What does that say about him? We got another week.
I mean, production. You know, production. And in today's day and age, there's a lot of things that go on and said and everything like that. This guy's producing. I mean, to block 2 punts in back-to-back weeks. I mean, I don't know if has that been done before at Ohio State. I don't know. I'll have to look, but that's amazing. And then that was a really huge point of the game. It got us a lot of momentum.
Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Brian, coming into this week last year, CJ was probably coming off the ultimate high, given how he performed in that game. Where do you feel like he is heading into that week once again with what he's been able to do these last couple weeks? And then also, you have the update on Matthew Jones. What happened there?
Yeah, Matt got rolled up on. I quickly saw Sean on the way out. I didn't get an answer on what exactly his situation is, but no, I mean, you know, it was one of those games you kind of had to manage a little bit, and I thought CJ did that. We got a couple, you know, got a holding call there and a few things down the line. I thought it was a clutch, unbelievable throw and catch there, just competing. You know, it wasn't exactly the way we drew it up, but he competed, made the throw, and Emeka made a great catch, and that kept us going, which was huge, and ultimately kind of ate up enough clock to allow us to kind of end the game.
Bill Landis, Rivals.
Right, I want to make sure I ask this right. Like, I know Trevion's trying to be tough and just help the team and play through stuff. But even on that long play at the start of the game, he didn't look comfortable. He was grimacing in pain. What went into the decision to play him? And then looking back, was that best for him and best for the offense?
Yeah. He had a great week of practice. We decided to shut him down last week to see, you know, how that would go, and had really good week of practice. Really didn't have much pain, and so he's trying to figure out, you know, what that's going to be like, you know, playing in the game with his situation. And so he's still kind of working through that, and we'll keep evaluating it day after day.
Did you feel like it held back? Because he's averaging less than 2 yards a carry. It puts you in difficult third down situations. Like, did that hinder the offense at all, just not having a guy who was 100% right?
You know, I think I got to probably watch the film and just see it before I answer that, but I know what you're asking.
Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Brian, you had at least 1 4th and 1 where you threw the ball. And then you've talked about you got to put your hand in the dirt, you got to get that yard, and yet you didn't. Is that just you being aggressive? Is it, I'm not sure we can get that yard? And where are you in that whole process?
You know, on that one in particular, I felt like we had a really good matchup out there with Marvin, and actually we did, and he had a lot of cushion, and he was open, but yeah, I was kind of looking at the coverage to see what was going on, but CJ, there was obviously leakage in there, and it was a max protection, so it should have been a nice clean pocket, and it should have been a pretty easy throw and catch. We thought schematically it was a good play, and that was, you know, kind of more of what our thought process was as opposed to, trying to prove something or anything like that at that point. But we didn't execute it, you know, and so, again, get to the film and figure out, you know, how to execute it better next time.
We'll go a couple more, folks. Doug Lesmerises, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, you guys are 12-0 since you lost to Michigan. Where do you feel like this team is, this program is heading now back into the game?
Well, I think we're more experienced. I think we're, you know, we've been scarred, even though, like you said, we've been on a 12-game run. You know, coming off of that game, we were highly motivated this season to get back to where we are right now. So there's been a lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get back to where we are right now and get the team to this point right here. So now all the chips go in, and now it's time to go to work this week and have a great week in preparation for the game on Saturday.
Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Fine, any white penalties were still out there, especially some of the delay of game stuff?
You know, they were winding it fast coming off the sideline, and you know, one of them I got to get in faster. Another one that, you know, I think CJ maybe lost the clock. Yeah, how many we ended up having? 11. Yeah, that's too many. Yeah, so you know, I don't know if I have a great answer for that. I know that a couple of those administratively we could have done a better job. One of them, you know, I don't think one of the guys was set when we called it. We got the penalty at the end of the game there. The guys went crazy down there in the end zone, so they threw a flag there. So I guess it was 11-10 on the penalties, but yeah, we'll have to go figure out and do a little running tomorrow. Coaches run too in his penalties, so to do a little running, I guess we'll get a workout.
Yeah. All right, come on in, Dallin. Anybody else with one? Okay, we're going to go two more with Coach Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Ryan, just the last two plays to end it by the defense. Obviously, not perfect all day, but they step up. And what was that like on the sideline? You know, you mentioned the celebration, but that whole series or something.
Well, you know, I thought the 4-minute drill was pretty well done. We didn't quite ice the game, but we ate up a lot of clock and got a couple first downs. Ate up all 3 timeouts, and they got the thing down at the inside of a minute. And then you got to make a decision on 4th down. Like, it was a 45-yarder. I think it was right at 45. You know, we had the one blocked earlier, but that was because we didn't have the tackle over us. It still felt confident that we could protect, and felt like at that point, you know, if you make the field goal, then now they have to score a touchdown to beat you, and that was the bottom line there. You know, could have gone for it. I guess what was it, probably 4th and 6 or 7. Just felt like that was the right thing to do. Make the field goal, great execution, big time. Now, that's clutch by Noah to make that field goal. We get really good coverage on the kickoff. You know, they've done a nice job all year. They have some talented guys that did a nice job getting that thing down inside the 10. And then at that point, you know, they need some big chunks. So, you know, we call a defense where, you know, we're going to kind of keep it in front of us, but those guys still got after the quarterback, and I think a 3-man rush and 2 big sacks and end the game. And great to see the guys finish the game like that, not, you know, worried about all those other things other than just winning the game. And and then really big time play by Zach there at the end.
Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic. Last question for Coach.
Ryan, I'm kind of off that. Obviously, Zach makes those 2 plays, but I mean, you look at the Penn State game, the defensive line, JT comes up big when you need him. This defensive line all year has come up big when you needed him. In turn, like, they've been, probably even more motivated than some since that Michigan game. What's it been like to see their growth from that game a year ago to where they are now?
Yeah, I think they take a lot of pride in their production, and I think that's really, you know, the most important thing is, like, you know, are you making plays or are you not? And it's not always seen by the interior guys, because a lot of times they're taking on blocks, so the linebackers can run down and make tackles. So I think when you see Tehran and you see, you know, Ty Hamilton and you see, you know, Mike Hall and those guys, so they don't always maybe get the production that you know, we all see. But when they're knocking back the line of scrimmage, that's what's really, really important. And boy, is that going to be important next week. You know, we're going to have a team that's going to try to run it right at us, and so we're going to have to really do a great job on the inside. We have to do a good job on the edge. Our linebackers have to play big.
You get the sense Mayan will be back next week? I mean,
that is the hope. And you know, it was trending that way. So
Coach.